Hello everyone, welcome back to a new video. So today I thought I would compare the business degree at AUT versus commerce at University of Auckland. So these are two very popular degrees. In fact, I actually study business at AUT, but I promise this will be a fair comparison, and I will be giving pros and cons of both. So starting off with the entry requirements, of course you need to get a University of Entrance for both. But for University of Auckland, you also need to take 3 subjects from Table A and Table B, which I'll list here in Year 13. And you also need a rank score of 180. So this isn't like a, straight cutoff. Like if you don't hit that rank score, you might still get in. Like, you should still apply anyway. But yeah, in saying that, University of Auckland is probably a little bit harder to get into. In terms of the degree structure, again, it is kind of similar. Like both are 3-year degrees and 2 semesters each year. University of Auckland tends to start 1 week later, but in terms of breaks and everything, it's like the same amount of breaks. UOA is a little bit more structured, so that you have 1 year of compulsory subjects, whereas AUT is only like half a year. And in your first year you also have to take like statistic papers, and so I guess it could be academically more difficult if you're not super good at like maths. So yeah, with that 1 year at University of Auckland, I guess it gives you a very, well-rounded overview. You get to take a bit of everything, so you can see, what you're interested in, what you're not interested in. On the other hand, I kind of like how AUT only has 1 semester of compulsory subjects, because like as someone that kind of knew what they wanted to study coming into university, I didn't really want to have to study a ton of extra papers about stuff that I wasn't, necessarily interested in. And also at AUT, your last semester, you do an internship, so you don't study, so I guess it's good. You have to take less papers, so you don't have to do as much studying. But on the other hand, it could also be seen as a con, because essentially you just you still have to pay for that last semester, even though you're not really taking any extra papers, so you're kind of just like paying to do an internship, which doesn't really make sense. And also I think that if you are a proactive student, and you go to University of Auckland, you can still do internships like throughout the year and during the summertime, so like you don't necessarily need to have that internship built into your degree. If you are proactive, you can still go out and get that work experience. In terms of the buildings, UOA, the business building is definitely quite new. It's pretty professional. Like when I go in there, it seems, very corporate kind of world of business kind of thing. Whereas AUT is kind of just more, I don't know, it doesn't really feel super like businessy, like it's just kind of like a school really. I guess a pro of AUT is that they have various campuses, so you can go to the South Campus in Manukau. So if you don't want to head into the city every day, that could be a pro. However, you can't really study your whole degree there. It's only like certain majors, so chances are you will have to go into the city anyway. University of Auckland tends to have like a higher Asian population, whereas AUT has more like Multi-Pacifica and like European students, which isn't necessarily a good or a bad thing. It's just kind of, I don't know, your preference. In terms of subjects, both schools have, the traditional majors like accounting, economics, and finance, but UOA has taxation, operations and supply chain management, and also business analytics and innovation and entrepreneurship, which are majors that AUT does not offer. However, AUT offers human resources as a major, so if you're interested in that, you can't really do that at University of Auckland. In terms of minors, like AUT also has a couple, like pretty practical minors like hospitality and tourism and sports marketing and sustainable enterprise, and kind of the more like future thinking subjects, I guess. Whereas University of Auckland offers a lot of your traditional humanities subjects, such as modern languages like French, Italian, art history, philosophy, and things like that. So yeah, I guess University of Auckland is more kind of the traditional subjects, whereas AUT has a lot of more practical subjects. In terms of class sizes, I think AUT does have smaller sizes. From what I hear, people in Auckland, like they usually go to like massive lectures and stuff, whereas most of my classes are just kind of in a small classroom, so it's more of a personalized approach. However, University of Auckland does have lecture recordings, whereas AUT didn't really have that, but of course now with the lockdown and everyone's studying online, it's kind of like similar now, I guess. In terms of group work, you basically have to do group work at any school. I think a misconception people have is that, everyone that goes to UOA is like super academic, whereas AUT, they just kind of chill out. But that's really not the truth. Like I know people that go to AUT that, study really, really hard, and at the same time a lot of people, like my friends who've gone to Auckland, like they've been in groups where people have just not participated. So, you know, you have these types of people at every school, so you really can't make generalizations about the type of students. In terms of study abroad, University of Auckland does have more options. Like you can go to some very, you know, high ranked schools such as King's College in London, Bocconi in Italy, Trinity College in Dublin. You also have South America and Latin American options, whereas AUT doesn't have that. So which is better? Well, it really depends on the individual. If you're interested in, you know, doing conjoint in the more traditional subjects, for example law or humanities, I would probably recommend going to University of Auckland. They, you know, have a really good reputation for those subjects. Whereas if you kind of want to do a more practical approach, maybe you want to do like a conjoint in design or sport and recreation or something like that, then I think AUT would be a good option. At the end of the day, I wouldn't be too stressed. Like university isn't going to determine your whole life. And actually I know a lot of people that have transferred, so they started at AUT and then moved to University of Auckland, or they started at University of Auckland and moved to AUT. So yeah, just go with what you think is right for you, and at the end of the day you can always change unis. So yeah, I hope this video has been helpful, and I will see you guys in my next one. Ciao!